Hello everybody, now I decided for today's video I'd make a guide to some of the spirits in the game because while there isn't necessarily a right way to use them, a lot of them are built for certain things, so I feel like making a guide on how to use them based on their abilities could definitely help some people out in optimizing their various builds. Now these are in no particular order, but to start we have Dolphin, which a description of it states that it is an intelligent and curious spirit with subtly altered movement that's a little harder to knock back. For its first ability, it has Echoing Deep, which allows it to release 3 Spirit Charge Sonar Blasts, damaging nearby enemies, which it gets prolonged at Mastery 20, which just bumps it up from 3 Sonar Blasts to 5. After that, it unlocks Flowing Spirit, which allows it to enter a flow-like state, removing stamina drain entirely, but it forces your top to guard. Tsunami Burst allows you to conjure a deep sea eruption to damage your enemies and send them flying, and it scales with defense. Wave Eruption is a massive blast of sonic vibrations that will damage nearby tops, and its duration is increased at Mastery 30. Now overall, all these abilities definitely point to Dolphin being much more of a defense spirit. It's even listed as such on the Trello. The thing is, I can definitely see how you could also potentially use it for attack, using things like Echoing Deep to deal extra damage. Though in the end, it's definitely much more built for defense, so that's how I likely recommend using it. Since it has a lot of abilities that relate to reducing knockback and such, and abilities that scale with defense, it's definitely a defense-focused one, but theoretically, if used right, attack is an option. Next up is Fox, which is described as a nimble and adaptive spirit that's fast when attacking and cautious when defending. Its first ability is Deadly Dance, which is described as majestically dancing around a stadium, occasionally hitting your opponent, dealing massive amounts of damage. Personally, from what I've seen of that one, I don't think it's too great, mainly because you don't hit your opponent that much, so the amount of damage you deal doesn't really end up being that much. Anyways, next ability is Stone Wall of Wind. It allows you to cover yourself in a heavy wind, massively improving your defensive abilities, but it forces your top to guard and ends at 25%. After that is Levitate, which allows you to float into the air and just avoid getting hit, except for some abilities. Then after that is Unforgiving Rage, which just gives you a huge boost to your attack power, but you cannot cancel it. So if you get in a bad situation, there isn't much you can do. And after that is Wave Eruption, which we already talked about. Now, in the Trello, Fox is listed as a stamina type, but honestly, I feel like its abilities, like, only about Levitate is the only one that really supports a stamina type. Maybe Stone Wall of Wind, but overall, I feel like, and at least from what I've seen, Fox is much better as a balance type. Of course, you could lean either more into attack or defense or anything, but I feel like Fox definitely excels, most definitely, when it is used as a balance type. Next up on the list is Kraken, which is described as a fierce spirit with mostly defensive moves. It deals slightly less damage, but takes a lot less damage. Its first ability is Invisible Ink, which allows it to go invisible, and it briefly gives it damage immunity on startup. Its duration increases at Mastery 15, and the non-stadium version lasts twice as long. All damage immunity is removed though when the move ends. Next is Stone Wall of Wind, which we've already discussed, then Flowing Spirit, which has also already been discussed. But then, for its fourth ability, is Mud Time. Cover the stadium in mud, slowing and damaging your enemies based on their point. Your top is immune to the mud's effects. Then, last, another one we have already talked about is Tsunami Burst. Now, overall, from its various abilities, and of course quite clearly in its description, it is very much a defense spirit. It has defensive moves, its passive is based on defense, everything about it is about defense. Its Invisible Ink ability is especially helpful because it also makes your opponent lose targeting. So the only way that can really be countered is if they were to manually control their bay to knock into you, but they can't see you at all. So it's very difficult for them to do so. Actually a tip I'd use for this is when using Invisible Ink, don't leave your bay on either of the passive options, because then they'll be able to predict where you are. Instead, go like slightly astray from the center, the way they can't really guess where you're at. Now as number 4 on the list, we have Shark, which is described as the king of the ocean, deals more damage to tops that are below 50%. Now most of Shark's abilities are ones we've already talked about, except its third ability, which is called Great Flood. It's described as flooding the stadium, damaging the cot tops, ends if you stop guarding before reaching the middle. Duration scales infinitely with stamina, drains stamina until mastery 30. Gigantification at mastery 50. Overall, Shark is decent, and it can kind of go two ways. The thing is, its passive is really good for attack types, but a lot of its abilities are much more stamina focused. So it kind of depends on what you want to try. Now, it could definitely work if you tried to balance between both, since you could out-stamina an opponent and then go in using the attack part to be able to finish them off, so it's definitely a really solid uncommon. Next up is Gryphon, which is described as a courageous and wind-resistant spirit. Its first ability is Levitate, followed by Stone Wall of Wind. Then its third ability is Skyborne Strike, which is described as elegantly soaring into the sky, crashing into the stadium floor, demonstrating your endless power from monstrous implosion. Its fourth ability is Wild Windstorm. It allows you to manipulate extreme gale force winds to protect your top, ends if you don't reach the middle in 5 seconds, drains stamina until mastery 40, ends at 30%. Overall, Gryphon's a pretty simple spirit. Some of its abilities, like a Skyborne Strike, though, are pretty easy to dodge. Overall, in the end, it's just okay, mainly meant for stamina or defense. Next up is Crab, which is described as a crusty but speedy spirit with a wide variety of moves. This little guy has a lot up his sleeve, or claw. His first move is Balance Blow, which is a calculated strike that scales with your lowest stat, followed by Levitate, then Mud Time, then Flowing Spirit, and lastly Wave Eruption. Overall, Crab is a decent but not amazing, well-rounded spirit. It's overall more focused on stuff like stamina, so I would likely suggest going with either a stamina or balance build with this. Now for the one I think is the strongest out of all the uncommon spirits is Wolf. Its description is a dangerous but loyal spirit, even more dangerous below 50%, which has increased speed, knockback, and knockback reduction. Its first ability is Deadly Hunt, which allows it to move faster while not guarding to hunt down your prey and deal deadly blows, which ends at 20%. Its second ability is Balance Blow, and its third ability is Shining Spiral Driver, which allows you to force your way into the middle and detonate with Fighting Spirit, and it gives damage immunity. Overall, Wolf is definitely probably one of the most viable uncommon spirits, as it is absolutely insane for balance types, with its below 50% buff, giving tons of stuff for stamina, defense, and attack, so it works all three. Deadly Hunt is really good because it allows you, it's like Unrelenting Rage, it gives you a huge attack buff, but you can still go to guard if you want to. And Shining Spiral Driver, giving you damage immunity, is absolutely crazy, and it can allow you to dodge stuff like ultimates. Overall, all that just makes Wolf by far one of the best, if not the best, uncommon spirit in the game. And now the newest for last, that being Pekin. Yeah, this one is pretty basic, if I'm being honest. It's so new that the trail doesn't even have a page for it, so I had to get these pictures in-game. But despite the fact that it doesn't have a description, from what I can gather based on its abilities, it seems to be more stamina focused than anything. So overall, if you were going to use this, or if it's the only thing you get, then I suggest trying to probably focus on a stamina build, or it is probably possible to go with an attack build based on some of its abilities, but stamina would probably be the best option. And that about does it for today's video. I'm hoping that this entire thing at least helped you a little bit considering the amount of time I spent on it. So, if you did enjoy it, like it. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe, yada yada, you know it. And if you want me to continue doing this, hopefully maybe get the rare and legendary mythics, get all the spirits done, let me know in the comments. And if you have any other fun video ideas, like challenges or something I could do in this game, feel free to comment those as well. Bye bye.